Rhea Chakraborty was arrested on the 8th of September by the Narcotics Control Bureau in Mumbai for her alleged links with a drugs racket. So many are asking today, is this a witch hunt? Is Rhea's arrest the result of a witch hunt? Well, NCB's remand copy says that Rhea was an active part of a drug syndicate. She would receive supply of drugs at Sushant's residence. She would take those deliveries, make the payments. She was coordinating with the staff members of Sushant's house to get the drug supplied. And therefore, she, by that logic, becomes a conduit who has facilitated the consumption of drugs. In fact, Rhea herself has corroborated the statements recorded from the others. The statements of the house help and Sushant's man Friday, who deposed before the NCB, saying that yes, Rhea was handling the payments, she was taking deliveries of these banned substances. Therefore, where is the question of witch hunt? The NCB is duty bound to invoke sections of the NDPS Act and to arrest and prosecute a violator. It has to do it. In fact, if it doesn't, it would be dereliction of duty. And this is, of course, part of the larger case, part of the investigation of the larger case, which is to solve the mystery of Sushant Singh Rajput's death. Because remember, by Rhea's own admission and her version is that Sushant was taking treatment for mental illness, which means he was under prescribed drugs. Therefore, it becomes critical to ascertain that there was no pilferage, there was no infiltration of any other kind of drugs, because that would interfere with his treatment and with those prescribed, with the effects of those prescribed drugs. Therefore, it is imperative for the NCB to look into this aspect, since the mental health aspect is a very critical part of this entire investigation. In fact, it was the ED that had roped in the Narcotics Control Bureau because they found certain communication while probing the money laundering issue based on the complaint filed by Sushant's family, that there was some communication happening on drugs procurement. And sure enough, the NCB clinched the case that there was indeed procurement of drugs, and based on that, it had to arrest Rhea Chakraborty. So therefore, this is all part of a due process of law. Where is the question of witch hunt? Only if you have already decided that Rhea is not guilty are you likely to think that this is witch hunt. Otherwise, this is law taking its own course. And of course, this is, like I said, part of the larger investigation. And of course, all these factors are important. And it is not as if this is an indictment of anybody's guilt. This is again part of an ongoing investigation. But what is on the other side? On the other side, there is a very strong counter narrative, and that is that the complaint that was the criminal complaint that was filed by the family of Sushant Singh Rajput accuses her of willful confinement, of financial theft, of criminal breach of trust, non-disclosure of facts. It does not mention drug abuse. So therefore, this was never part of the complaint that the agencies are probing in the first place. And that is why it is being said that the central agencies have gone into a different tangent. It has become a prestige issue. They have somehow they had to find something to get to Rhea, and that's what they have done. Because otherwise, the drug menace is rampant in this country. 59 grams of marijuana is all that was recovered. Based on that, the NCB, that is supposed to crack big drug cartels and crack down on huge international drug networks, have swooped down on a 28-year-old girl that she influenced, cajoled her boyfriend into drugs. How believable is that? Because that stems from a certain mindset, and the mindset is that, you know, a successful Bollywood star who's wealthy, who's successful, who has everything going for him, cannot be mentally ill. Now, that is a flawed argument. Mental illness is a glaring reality. Nobody is immune to it. And then this thing about, you know, finding a convenient target to apportion blame, who should it be but the woman in his life? That smacks of patriarchy and misogyny, and therefore it becomes a witch hunt. Why must the woman be responsible? Why must the man be a paragon of virtue, bereft of vice? Is a man not capable of taking his own decisions? Is he not capable of indulging in drugs on his own volition? And does this make the family happy? Because what has happened now is that it has exposed Sushant's worst crimes and it has held his girlfriend guilty for being a partner in crime. But who is the primary offender? Net, what the agencies have done is now exposed that Sushant is an offender, and here is his girlfriend who was colluding in this offence, and therefore she has been arrested. These are basically the primary arguments, but in the overall analysis it must be said that there is this general mindset about how the woman is a convenient target and therefore it becomes a witch hunt. This is not the due process of law taking its own course. This is finding a scapegoat. Those are the two sides. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching Two Sides with Afrida.